James and Justin here, your favorite spiritual analysts on all things culturally relevant, and you guys have really enjoyed our reactions to The Chosen, so we're going to continue it on here. We're going to take a look at a scene titled Jesus Heals at the Pool from John chapter 5 in the Bible. Let's do it.
Shalom.
Me?
Yes.
Shalom.
I have a question for you.
For me. I don't have many answers, but I'm listening.
Do you want to be healed?
Who are you?
We'll get to that later. But my question remains.
Will you take me to the water? Look, I'm having a really bad day.
You've been having a bad day for a long time. So?
Sir, I have no one to help me into the water when it's stirred up. And when I do get close, the others step down in front of me. And so...
Look at me. Look at me. That's not what I asked. I'm not asking you about who's helping you, or who's not helping, or who's getting in your way. I'm asking about you.
I've tried.
For a long time, I know. And you don't want false hope again, I understand. But this pool, it has nothing for you. It means nothing. And you know it. But you're still here. Why?
I don't know.
You don't need this pool. You only need me. So, do you want to be healed? So let's go. Get up, pick up your mat, and walk.
I'm free to walk, like he said. Don't forget your bed.
Why does this matter?
Because you're not coming back here. That life is over. Everything changes now.
Well, so many things you could talk about just from that one little scene. So many ways we could take the conversation here. But the thing that I was kind of thinking about while watching that was kind of a little bit of a spin-off off of the last video that we did from The Chosen, which was the woman at the well.
Mm-hmm.
And the common interlink that I kind of saw between the two interactions with the people was Jesus kind of presenting that character of like, I'm listening and I know. Like, he's like, I know, you know. And I think that taps into something that we crave as humans, is understanding of like, regardless of whatever I've done in my life, that wanting, that need to hear those words from some type of external source saying like, I understand what you're going through. It's, you know, and, you know, I understand that you were doing the best that you could, regardless of wherever you are right now in your life. And I'm trying to think of like, what's the best way, is the best way to come to a place where you don't need to hear that from anyone or anything, that you kind of accept that thing internally within yourself, that you let go of all the stories, that it comes to an understanding that you don't need someone else to validate or accept your experience, that you are okay the way you are without being dependent upon another source, you know, telling you it's okay. I don't know. Am I making any sense here? Or do you like? What do you?
I think you're probably making very clear sense to a lot of people. Like, to a certain amount of people, they're probably resonating with what you're saying. You want me to respond?
Yeah, I'm kind of just curious about what your take on that.
Well, first of all, do you think it's possible to make sense to everybody, or only some people usually?
Probably just some people. Yeah, I don't think everyone.
So
will
that's kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Is it only possible to make sense to some people, or is everybody, if they're right, everybody should be knowing the same thing? No, applying to what you said.
Yeah.
You know, do some people barely make any sense to anybody? It sounds like Jesus, really, in his time. I mean, they killed him after all, and only 12 people were following him around. He would go out and do a miracle and feed a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And then he would start talking, and people would start to separate and go their own ways. You know, he would go up and down with approval, his approval ratings.
Yeah.
Up and down all the way till they were like, that's too far. You got to die now. So first of all, I just want to say this. It was randomly that I chose the devil. It's not a devil, by the way. It's like a Viking or something. But this is the second time I've had this thing where it's like I'm positioning myself as potentially the evil guy on the shoulder. But he's there. He brings balance to things if you see clearly. You know, even God accepted the literal devil in his presence to hear what he had to say. So what I'll say to this.
Yeah.
What do you like when you're pathetic and shitty and on a rotten mat? When you're that guy, do you like people going, I hear you and I understand and I know? Like not smart assedly?
Yeah,
Your answer is that work with when you're in a losery state?
Yeah.
And you're like a loser state of your life. Is that the most effective way to deal with the suffering, James? Like,
it might not be the most effective way, but
Okay.
there might be also some comfort that does come from some nice soft
well,
words.
what do you like best when do you like people apologizing to you? Do you like people when you're down, do you like people understanding you?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to suss something out
I think
here.
so. I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so that's telling.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're going to deal with somebody, you might do that. There are people that are like, you see their shoulders get tense when you apologize to them. They're like, you don't have the power to apologize to me. You didn't hurt me.
Yeah.
Or they're never willing to be vulnerable to begin with.
Yeah.
That guy, talk about blessings to be look at his life. Would you trade with him? Matt guy, he got to meet the living God and it healed him. But first you got to be a loser on a mat. And people go, what are you talking? Yeah, I know the symphony of people that want me to make a clearer, more palatable point. But think about it for a sec. My favorite book of the Bible is the book of Thomas. It's not even in the canon. But doubting Thomas, the guy that was like, I don't believe until I stick my fingers in Jesus' wounds.
Yeah.
You know, doubting Thomas to me is where it was at. Not the people that were overly followers. That's just where I resonate. In the sideline, in the obscure thing, he got the closest to Jesus, Thomas did. He got right inside of him by doubting. And that guy on the mat had to live a life of garbage to meet Jesus face to face, and Jesus even pay attention to him.
Yeah.
I see you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people go, I don't want to be vulnerable to begin with. They feel uneasy when the leaders pointed them out and saying, I see you and I see your suffering. They're going, it's not that bad, actually. You know, his appearances to keep up. I'm okay, Jesus, actually. You'll find. What about the other guy that was on the mat? He was like looking at him. He didn't get healed.
Yeah.
You know? Only the absolute desolate guy.
Yeah.
And look at Jesus. Those that are crying their tears will be wiped. Blessed are those that are poor in spirit. How many people take that to the bank? Or away from the bank, out of the bank, out of the realm of money? No, forget your money. Because I said, blessed are the poor in spirit.
Yeah.
I said, blessed are those that have all kinds of problems. You know? So that matters to me. That's what stands out to me, not method or proper approach or the actor playing Jesus. You know, I know that he's probably, it's hard to act. And it's hard to, time after time, display genuine compassion in an acting situation. But in real life, you can see severe micro expressions. You ever really ached with someone? You ever really looked at someone and shared their pain with them?
Yeah.
And so you've tarnished your own self to get down into the mire with them and share their pain. There's no best approach. There's no that's just ugly. And sometimes it's the ugly moments where we're really together with each other in humility. You know, not not Mr. B. Like Mr. Beast, a lot of people don't like him, but at the end of the day, how many blind people has he healed?
Yeah.
A lot, if you look into it.
Yeah.
So, and at the end of the day, I got to admit, to me, it is a story still, but there's some other symbolic things that stand out. The guy's psychology, the fact that he stayed by that pool and Jesus was essentially getting to the quick of it, saying, that pool's got nothing for you. Why are you here? We didn't really get much of an answer there, but the answer a lot of time in life is because it's complicated. We are kind of, what is it called? Reverse psychology ourselves. Sometimes we struggle with things because we don't want to accept the freedom. What's really holding you back is you're afraid of success. Or what's really holding you back is you're afraid of the freedom. Now, that guy that took his mat, he got to go live a life now. He's not sitting around by a pool all day. He got limbs now. And what happens when he runs into a Roman soldier that's like, hey, walker, we got stones that need split in half. He's like, I'm actually going back to the pool and lying on my side. That's why I was there to begin with. Yeah. All of that matters to me, which is the stuff that causes people to, I give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. But enjoy it. Soak up the beauty at whatever level you can.
Another element I was kind of taking from this while I was watching it was the idea of the watcher of the scene, because the show does a very good job of getting your eyeballs on it, getting you emotionally involved with the scene and everything that's going on. I think it does a really good job of that. And I'm trying to think of all the different types of people who may be watching it. So, we come here as unbelievers, but then there's a whole bunch of people that are going to be Christians and attached to this story, and they're moved. And, where is your headspace at it when you're watching something like this? Yeah. Because the thing, even as a believer back in the day, the first thing I'd be thinking would be why don't I see this now? I wish this was a part of my waking reality, that someone walks into a hospital, or it doesn't even have to be that grandiose. It could be on the street. Who's the guy with the power, because Jesus said, you'll do greater things than I did. Yeah. I don't see this type of thing happening ever anywhere except for on stages and stadiums where you have faith healing guys, and then it's always found out that they got earpieces and it's all set up and it's all about money. Where's the real version of this happening in my life? And I remember, back in the day feeling I don't see it anywhere. I don't feel that I could get lost in this story and lose sight of the actual tangible facts that are happening right in front of me. I don't see this. And it's the only thing you see is in your local church, a bunch of people putting hands on someone, praying for them that God will heal them. And then if they get healed, it's because God did the work. And then when they don't get healed, then they just end up dying. It's well, God works in mysterious ways. I
love the potential comment of someone being only you two guys could take a beautiful, nice story of Jesus coming and healing a guy and twist it into that philosophical word, jambalaya. But, clever comment, by the way, whoever was thinking of doing that. But it does matter, because I have known people that just go, just be happy, just everybody be no. Why do you gotta ruin it. Just be nice and happy. And the thing is, because the devil is in the details. And there's all those little details and reasons matter as to what was going on before he healed him and what was going on after he healed him. It actually does matter, you know. Only if you've got like a thinking brain. If you want to suspend thinking, go ahead. I invite you. You know, if you don't want to think too much, sometimes things are just nice, and we all deal with our own set of cards. You know, it doesn't negate, not one thing we said negates the phenomenon of somebody reaching out and restoring someone. It's just not the whole story. It just isn't the end of it. For some people it is, and go ahead, be blessed. But for those that don't have that luxury, you know, for those that don't have the luxury of just being one of these followers that inevitably, conveniently friggin' weren't even there when Jesus died, and then took up the message and capitalized on it, you know, I got to be careful, because a lot of those guys were very passionate and went to their death defending Jesus.
Yeah.
But some of that stuff happened post hoc. You know, there's a lot of times when Jesus was talking, his sermons, the stuff that was actually written down, practical things that you could apply, where people are like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Jesus? And it was like, and they didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
And then he tried it, and then he said it even more differently. Complicated situation with Jesus, and the reality of his healing methods, and the reality of who he healed, and what about all the things we don't even know about? After all, it says, I fill a book. The book would be overflowing with even all the stories we left out.
Yeah.
One of the disciples said something like that. But again, I would say for a more philosophical, if you're kind of intrigued by the philosophical take on this, go find the Book of Thomas, man, and see what Jesus says in that thing, because that's when you really get into him being like, the kingdom of heaven's at hand. It's far and wide. It's on this earth. It's here. Why you keep living in this imaginary reality where it's somewhere else? It's here. It resides. He goes into things that point more to an apprehendable understanding of what he was really all about.
Yeah.
You know, and in the canon are crazy mysteries. Of course, the one where he says, you'll go and do things greater than me. That's in there. And then some of the things he said that were just, you know, we think of him as the Prince of Peace. But he did say things like, you know, if you don't hate your mother and father, you're not fit for any man that looks back at the plow, not fit for the kingdom.
Yeah.
You know, he's got some hardcore statements.
Yeah.
You know, despite the fact that he genuinely, you know, they kind of capture it in that video. There's an element of genuine compassion. Are you genuinely moved by compassion, or are you sort of strategic? Are you sort of concerned with what's the right answer or best? Or are you free enough to get the answer wrong and dwell and then go to those seedy places, the mire, be associated with tax collectors and prostitutes and the lowest of the low, and have the powerful people looking over their shoulders at you in their like tuxes, you know, in their fancy suits going, ugh, what the hell is he even doing here? What are you? How close to Jesus are you? Are you a Pharisee? Are you sitting there going, shut up, it's a game. Hate the player, not the game, you know? What are you saying out there? What do you think? Why do you like us reacting to this? Because this is the third one we've done. Because we've tried a bunch of Christian videos and you know, trying to get a dialogue or a connection with the Christian community. And for some reason, our reactions to this seem to be thus far the most successful way. Maybe you got some suggestions of something else you'd like us to talk about with this approach. This kind of deconstructing it, pointing out from a more philosophical or logic-seeking place. Yeah, you know. I don't know. Is that fair to say?
That's fair. Good. Yeah. Let us know. Let us know in the comments what you thought about our reaction to the video itself, what you think about the video, all the topics that we brought up. Hopefully you did like it. For those of you who did, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share this with a friend, and everyone till next time. Stay spiritual.